flying by the seat of my pants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ready Play Go, a place where streamers, weirdos, and nerds get together and play TTRPGs. We are back after a 2-week hiatus for Word Break Week. We left on quite a cliffhanger, which I did receive comments on very angrily about leaving it on a cliffhanger for 2 weeks. But all I can say to that is, haha. But we do get 3 weeks of episodes now that we're back from holiday stuff until the next holiday stuff in 3 weeks. Yes, we do finally get to see what happens next, whether certain players live or certain players have to come up with new characters. But
look, this game's over. We're all dead. This is it. The end, baby.
We never know.
Look, I already have a way to die pleasantly, and I've cleared this with Chris.
Yes, a lot of back and forths. So, tonight we are joined by our full cast of Docs Ryan, Abadactor, Avery Connors, and Outermost Ghost. I am your game mother, Chrissy C90, and we're all sort of set for what could be either a very jubilant episode if everything goes well, or bad. That's it.
Look, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I got plot armor, so I'm not worried.
I don't have plot armor.
What I have is praying to the dice gods. That's what I have been doing for the last 2 weeks, because it's one of those ones I really want it to work out, but at the same time it'll be quite entertaining if everything goes to shit, and it'll probably kind of be with the rest of it if everything just goes to shit, because that seems to be your character lives. But yes, before we begin, I am going to go through our little disclaimer. Our Alien game is intended for those 18 and over, with both action and horror vibes. The game is intended to play into character fears. This may invoke anxiety. We have ground rules set up that all players agree to, but if anything within the game causes distress, please stop watching. We understand that the game may not be for everyone, and your support in any capacity is always appreciated. With that, please get comfortable. Get yourself ready for a wild time as we jump into tonight's episode of Alien Entrapment. Okay, everybody.
I appreciate a good dick joke.
So, as we get into character, Joshua and Andrea have been rocked by an explosion basically under their feet while on this ship station. Who knows at this point? And it has sent them towards the void of towards the void of space through the hole of the ship. Apparently, I'm from Boston.
Do you have an Englishman?
Carrigan and Tavin, you have frantically looked around and seen Joshua and Andrea slowly floating towards the gaping hole that is this side of the ship. Before we go into plan and action, I am going to go through all four of you and describe what you all see so that you can make informed decisions and plans as to what you want to do next. Carrigan, you first. You find yourself almost on the edge of this gap in space where the space station has kind of been blown out. As you look out, you see Joshua and Andrea are probably about 40, 50 feet from your current location, kind of up high. Around you, there's not a great deal of loose items because from this position, everything's been blown out. There is particles and debris floating around, kind of within this hole of the ship. As you look across, probably about 60 feet from you is the other side of the ship where Joshua and Andrea were before the explosion happened. So where the other kind of platform is. Just behind you is Tavin. Tavin, you pretty much see the same thing. Behind you is the corridor that leads back to where you were originally separated and where the security room that you'd got all the files and stuff from the terminals were. Joshua, as you come to and your focus starts coming in, there's a very high-pitched ringing in your ears. As you look around, your body is filled with just nothingness as you find yourself just floating, slowly drifting away from the ship itself. You haven't left the ship's sort of area. Like, you are still within the ship, but you are slowly drifting towards the whole of the ship. And it won't be long until you break that perimeter and become into actual outer space. There is some bits of debris, some metal sheeting, girders and stuff like that that had just been in an impact of whatever caused this initial explosion, and you are surrounded by some parts of debris that has been sent out with you along this new explosion. You are about 40 feet from either platform on either side where you came from or where Carrigan and Tavin are. Andrea, where it's a few seconds after Joshua where you then come to kind of focus, and you're probably around 5 feet behind Joshua, but further out, you're getting very close to the perimeter of this ship. You looking around, you do see that, like with Joshua, there is debris floating around, but you're probably about 20 feet from where the steel beams and stuff that have been bent and misshapen with whatever caused this original explosion. And beyond that is just nothingness. But with that, I leave it up to... I will say at this point, Tavin and Carrigan, you will probably have kind of first reaction in it, just on the basis of it would take a few seconds after the initial blast for Joshua and Andrea to kind of get their faculties about them again. So you would have kind of a few seconds before both of them then start kind of coming to terms with the situation.
Where we are there any exposed heavy-duty wiring? Because we're in the destroyed part of the ship. In the floor or the wall?
I would say that coming from maybe one or two of the exposed paneling, you would be able to see some loose cabling and stuff like that that would be accessible.
I want to try and pull it out if I can and see. I'm basically seeing if it would be long enough to basically make a rope.
With how ships are kind of built, you'd probably have to pull off quite a lot of paneling to be able to, like,
Too long. Okay.
like if you were just to try and like pull it, it would be like trying to pull out just like a socket wire. It would need that little bit more give to be able to just come out. But you can, I would say, give me a strength check, but before you do roll, I'd probably say that you're probably looking at like a... It's going to be quite difficult, so you're probably looking at like a -3 difficulty.
I have a 2 in strength. So a -3 will put me at -1. So it's not something he can do.
Okay.
I'll turn to Carrigan and say, you got any idea what to do?
So for me, I would just immediately be like, well, fuck. Have some questions. Not to Tavin. I have questions to the game mother. So there was enough in an explosion. I know last time we said that there was enough gravity for us to be talking. Does this affects our gravity, would it not?
Well, the way it was stymied last week or last time was your suits will have some form of like magnetic ability that would keep you grounded and kind of less than ideal gravity. With an explosion like that, your kind of moon books would not be that thing to the ground. Like you would be able to, like you yourself would be able to release yourself from that gravity. You have that control, but once
at
you
this point,
leave that, your boots wouldn't be, you wouldn't have like a 6-foot magnetic range. This is like a very close quarter.
How far are they from us?
Joshua's about 40 feet and Andrea's about 45 feet.
It's a 60-foot gap to the other side?
Yeah, it's a 60-foot gap to the other side, and it's probably 60 foot until they would then be beyond the kind of ship's interior if the ship still didn't have a hole. So that's kind of like your point of exiting the ship's area is about 6. So you've got like 15, 20 feet until they're actually within space.
And I'm assuming they are currently floating away.
Yes.
They're not. Yeah.
They're currently
They're both
floating away,
floating.
but their push has been slowed at this point, because as much as the explosion was an explosion that caused this, it wasn't massive enough that, because if it was any bigger than what it was, they would have been obliterated there and then with the shrapnel. So it's just been enough to send them off their feet, but in that time, they've gradually got to here.
Well, they wouldn't be slowing down if they're in zero gravity. They're just moving slowly.
Yeah,
I
they're just
guess.
moving slowly.
Okay. Fuck. I'll turn to Carrigan. Again, you got any ideas?
You already said there wasn't really any debris around. I don't think there's anything.
I got one idea, but I don't want to do it. And you can audibly hear a quiver in Tavin's voice at that statement.
What does that mean?
Jump across and run to the ship. And don't miss.
Well, so if we do that, then the goal should be to jump into them and push them, because that was the only idea I was coming up with, was a run and jump, and which seems like a terrible idea unless you see a 40-foot piece long piece of metal. Did you bring anything? You got any fucking rope? Anything?
Nope.
This is why we should have gone through every room. That's habit. That's not Gary.
Where they came out, is it straight from level with where we are?
It's still the same level as what you guys are.
Sweet.
There is some jaggedness to where like damage has been caused, but it's effectively just a straight shot.
Okay. Tavin is shaking at the thought of doing this. Tavin is gonna back up from the hole.
No,
like
stop.
He's gonna get a running start because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, same. I'm not. I'm just like, just
And-
hold on. Run and jump. Aim towards them.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm aiming.
I am.
Okay.
Right, so
She's aiming towards them.
So you're going towards those two, and
Yeah, I'm gonna try and
Tavin, you're going towards
collision back towards the opening.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna give Ghosty a heart attack.
Probably.
Before she does that, is the angle possible? Are they too far forward to do that? That should be the question.
I would say in a pressure situation, do you have that kind of...
No, they're in zero
What
gravity.
I will say is...
Oh, wait, you mean...
Haba, give me a wits roll. Okay.
Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Okay, you can
Panic
roll.
roll.
You can roll your panic as well.
Hit the...
That's
hit
the
it.
stress one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the stress one.
Okay, there you go. Okay, as you are trying to calculate this, you get a little frustrated with trying to think everything through quickly. But what you surmise is it could work, could not work. Only one way to find out.
You want to do it?
Okay. Well, Tavin, you did say you'd began running towards there first, so you are going to
Yep.
make your leap first. Right, let's just have a look, because I did find a movement in 0G homebrew kit that they'd
Hoping it's
created.
agility.
Yeah. Because they've added in this EVA skill, but it's just mobility and wits, really. So you are going for inertia, which is once you begin moving in 0G, you will continue to move in that direction at the same speed unless you strike an object large enough to stop or slow your movement, or can exert force in the opposite direction, usually by some kind of thrust.
Yeah,
So,
Newton's third law.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I am going to ask you to do is it's wits and mobility. So
Okay. So do I just do one then the other, or
what I would do is I would probably just do like wits plus how many dice you have in mobility. So
Okay.
like you just use like your +1, +2, or whatever, or 0 if it's thingy, and do it that
so
way.
it would actually be +5 since my agility is 5 and mobility
No, it's
0.
wits in mobility,
Oh,
so it's not agility.
but doesn't agility go into mobility like it does for piloting?
I'm not. I'm not in.
Because like if I roll
100%
piloting, I roll 10 dice because my agility and my piloting is 5. If I were to roll just mobility, it would be 5.
I'm not 100%. Right, hold on.
Like I can do this because like yeah, see just mobility actually rolled 7 dice.
Right.
So I don't know how that works when you stack it with opposite stuff.
I think it's one of those ones. The way this is theming is they've created an EVA skill which just uses your wits. So the way they're theming it is it's just wits plus whatever dice you have in mobility,
Okay.
as opposed to agility and mobility.
Right, so I'm just doing a wits roll then, because I have no bonus to mobility.
Right. Okay.
That's 1 success and 1 panic. Let me roll the stress. Keeping it together.
There we go.
But I did still have a success.
Okay, so yes, you prepare yourself while Carrigan is kind of just to the side, still talking to you, try to find out what you're doing, and you just blow past and just take a leap. As you take that leap, you quickly realize that you have now just
Willingly put myself
Yes,
into untethered 0G.
yes, you've just launched
I'm
yourself
having
into
flashbacks.
space. You
Yep.
start having those flashes of being back on that faithful day. You have flashes of your more recent dream that you went through. There's just flashes of different things that just appear and then disappear. And then your fear and panic begins to morph into worry as the opposite wall and floor are now coming to you with 0 ability to slow yourself down.
Yep.
As you clatter into the other side of the ship, I need this one. Give me an agility roll for this one, because this is trying to limit your bounce.
One success.
One success. As you, it's not even a slam. It's just you effectively hit and bounce, but you are able to grab hold of some loose cabling or wire, just something that's attached to the other side, and you scramble to grab hold, and you are able to keep yourself on that side. Your boots back on firmer ground, and you have indeed made it to the other side.
Will immediately begin sprinting towards where the ship would be. I'm not looking back to see what Carrigan's doing. I'm going after the
son
ship.
of a bitch.
Okay.
I'm going after the ship to save people.
Oh no, this is a done fucking deal. She's
Okay.
gonna run. She's doing her plan. So I know that you just explained what you had to do,
Yep.
but let's be real. I have ADHD and I blacked out.
That's
So
fair. So I need you to roll your wits and then add whatever dice you have in mobility. So if you have like a 3 in wits and a 2 in mobility, you would do your wits plus 2.
okay. So from what you talked out with Avery, nothing gets added to that, even if you have a 5 in agility.
No.
Okay, cool.
Nothing
Great.
like that.
It's fine. Fine. It's totally fine. It's great. It's great.
Okay. You can roll your panic roll, but you did get 2 successes.
I'm keeping it together.
Okay.
Technically.
As you in your head do the calculations, out the corner of your eye, you do see Tavin steam past you and launch in almost the opposite direction. You, with the knowledge that you have, just take your run and leap in the direction of Joshua and Andrea. As you do that, this feeling of panic does wash over you, as you do realize, in fact, that you are jumping away from all safety that is in the opposite side. You do begin making a straight path, like it was a perfect path towards Joshua, who is first in your view. As you are approaching them, you do then realize as well that you have nothing to slow yourself down apart from the oncoming Joshua, who is slowly traveling away from you still. So what I will say is, Joshua, you, as you come to focus, you see Tavin and Carrigan talk slightly. Tavin then run and leap across this gap, and then you see Carrigan now flying towards you as you are now about to be collided into. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes.
Who of those two weighs more?
Joshua is 100 and he's like 200 some pounds.
We're in 0G. Weight doesn't matter anymore.
It does when two objects collide into each other.
So,
because mass,
Not when it.
their mass is different.
I'm still
And if they're
essentially a
moving-
projectile.
yeah.
If
We
they're moving
can't,
in different directions.
but we
then-
also can't you can't swim in space, right? So you can't change your direction once you've already gone. And if she's going like, I don't know. I feel like, unfortunately, it probably wouldn't slow her down too much.
Yeah.
I got this. Don't worry. I'm a Superman. This. I got this.
Okay. So,
Okay.
with the oncoming Carrigan, you are able to intercept if you wish, but it will come with a penalty equal to the kind of movement that's happening. But you can attempt to grab hold of each other. But
Okay.
at this moment,
I got.
you have a projectile in the shape of Carrigan coming towards you.
I gotta. I'm trying to get the mental playing field so I can make this work. I got two options. I saw Tavin run, right?
Yep.
And make the jump.
Yep.
Okay. Now I have a Carrigan flying at me, and I have a Andrea behind me, correct?
Yes, about
Everybody
5
go
feet
this way.
behind you.
Okay. 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 All right. I know Tavin, so I have to make a decision, which wasn't my initial plan, but shit. All right. Knowing Tavin the way Joshua does, there's a good chance this is Joshua processing for the chat. Like knowing the way Tavin does things, he's probably headed for the ship. He's probably gonna try and like intercept us. That's my first thought. My second thought is I need to get a hold of Andrea so she doesn't float off so that I can get us in position to be intercepted by Tavin. Or idea 2 is get us back on the space station. I don't know which one I need to do. Shit. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try. Alvin, I swear to God, I'm trusting you right now. All right. I'm going to try and do 2 things, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
Okay.
I need to intercept Carrigan, and I need to reach Andrea so I can get her stabilized so that we can get together, and it's an easier pickup. So first, I need to intercept Carrigan so she doesn't blow past me. That's going to be move 1.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll start with that. What I will have you do then is intercepting is made with your EVA kind of thing, which is wits and mobility again, but it has a penalty equal to the movement rate.
Mm-hmm.
For the majority of it, it just says that the movement rate is 1 unless you have like a power supply and you're using thrusters and all that kind of stuff. So we will just keep it as a movement of 1. So what I will need you to do is roll wits with mobility -1 for the penalty that you will be receiving.
So it's just 3 dice with the -1. So if I just roll my wits, that's what it is.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, 1 success. So this is where things get complicated though. Not necessarily completely. Like you will succeed in one of your goals. So as Carrigan is coming towards you at like a rate of 1 movement, you and Andrea are currently moving to and you're moving away from Carrigan. So as Carrigan comes into contact with you and you grab hold, momentum continues you. So in grabbing Carrigan, you are then pushed that little bit closer to where Andrea is. So with that, you are able to grab hold. But now all 3 of you are moving at a rate of 1 out of the ship. So what at that point you are, I would say that the 3 of you, I would say Andrea, you witness Carrigan just flying towards Joshua. Joshua, they both manage to grab hold as they're kind of sent more towards you at a kind of faster rate as they then collide with you. I would say just with the fact that there's now going to have been 3 of you, grabbing on wouldn't, because it's not that you're only 5 feet away, so I wouldn't think me for like ability rolls and that kind of stuff in that. But I will say that the 3 of you are able to come into contact with each other as you are now slowly getting out of the ship's area. But you are
Okay.
together.
Quick question.
Yes.
So I try the comms, and I'm gonna assume that we can't talk, correct?
Correct, because the suits that Carrigan and Joshua are wearing are old suits and won't be connected to the same frequency as Tavin's suit, and you not be like, you wouldn't have that same connection in, so you wouldn't be able to communicate via that. But
And there's no like local open frequency we can use.
probably not, but for the kind of sake and for a little bit, you wouldn't have been able to be using the kind of communications while you were like in the suit, and you were able to have like conversations and stuff. So I would kind of allow that, because you are in such close proximity, that you would be able to sort of communicate with each other. Like, you'd be able to get through hand signals and stuff like that. You'd probably be able to get information across with pointing and stuff like that. Just on
But
that.
no vocal.
I would probably say no vocal, just on the basis of, at this point, you are in kind of like the vacuum of
We are in
space. So it's like there's nothing to vibrate on,
Sound.
kind of thing.
Right.
How were we speaking while we were in the station then?
Who knows?
Food speakers?
Some movie.
Anyway, let's see. So would I have been able to see Tavin from where I was? Like, do I know that he's going somewhere? Question mark.
I'd probably say yes, because if you were able to kind of see, like Joshua and stuff like that, you would have been looking in that direction. So you probably would have seen Tavin kind of leaping across and getting to the other side.
Okay. Good. So we don't have to panic.
Perfect time to panic.
It was a bad time to panic. Is there anything nearby, like that we could? There's nothing really besides debris, you were saying, in our path. So no outcropping of the derelict or anything that we could grab onto.
Well, there is like, where the whole of the ship is, there is like steel girders and stuff like that have kind of like been bent out of shape and stuff that still protrude from the main ship. So there is things that you could grab on if your movement was taking you towards them, and at this point it's not currently. You're currently just beelining out of the gap, but there is things probably within... I'd probably say that the closest thing is probably within 10-15 feet, which you could possibly grab onto if you were kind of going in that direction, if you were to somehow be able to do that.
I assume we don't have thrusters or anything like that.
I don't think the suits
Oh.
do.
They
Your
don't.
suit though, your
Okay.
suit might be different if it says, because I did put yours in. So
don't know.
depressurize protection.
Only thing it says is
I did just read the last
line of
sentence of
built-in
it.
flashlights, so I don't think I have anything like that.
Yeah, but I will just say the very last sentence of it. It says, while this suit can be used in deep space, it should only be used in areas not directly exposed to space.
Correct.
So,
I know.
but
I read.
yes, no thrusters.
So we're just going towards the open vacuum of space.
Yes, currently.
And there's nothing directly in our path to stop us.
Nothing that could stop you. There is debris and stuff like that you could, but it's all loose debris.
But
All
there's
right.
there's nothing big enough that we could grab onto that would tether us in place, sort of.
I would say give me an observation.
Okay.
Three successes. Say, while you do look around and you see the girders and stuff like that, you do see what looks to be a single cable, which is still attached to the ship, currently just floating out in space. It's not in your direct path, but it could be possible.
Well, I know that I'm not very good at agility-based things, so I would like to try and get Joshua and Carrigan's attention to point it out. Like, maybe we could grab on so we don't just drift off.
Yeah, you'd be able to kind of give them a nudge and a tap and kind of point towards it. And Carrigan and Joshua, you will be able to see that kind of not in your direct path, but there is a cable that is currently just floating attached to the ship.
I have a question.
Yes.
Roughly, how long do we know it takes Tavin to get the ship fired up and moving? Because that'll determine what I do next. It's gonna take a few minutes, right?
I'm pretty sure, like, a normal startup would take a few minutes, but I'm pretty sure, did we know have it in a previous episode where Tavin, I'm sure you've got like a speed setup or something like that where it can...
That was with the laptop, which I don't have with me.
Okay.
So it's
that's why I asked.
Take like 10 to 15 minutes just to get disconnected and moving.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I know what I'm gonna do now. This is gonna be ridiculous, but hopefully it works. So we have Andrea and Carrigan together, right?
Yes.
We're together. Okay. We're drifting out of the ship towards open space.
Yes.
Okay. We need some sort of momentum to get back towards the ship we got blown out of, right?
Yes.
Okay. Trust me. This hopefully this works. Out of my medical bag, I'm gonna grab trauma shears and a tourniquet. Okay.
Okay.
I have Carrigan and Andrea. I'm gonna take I'm gonna take my oxygen line, and I'm gonna cut my oxygen line, and use the propulsion of the escaping gas to aim us back towards the hole. If I can get enough momentum to get us going back towards the hole, I can tourniquet off the oxygen line and keep my oxygen, or like try and reconnect it with a tourniquet line to reconnect it. But I have survival, so if I got it, I can hold my breath for a little bit. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. What will I have you roll for that?
I'm assuming wits and survival on that one.
Can I aid him in any way in doing this? Like, is there a role I could do to help him if I understand what he's doing?
How quick are you going to be doing this, Joshua? Like, is it going to be something that Carrigan and Andrea would be able to see you like planning to do, or would it be a kind that you're just going to fucking pull and go?
No, I'm being very explicit and articulate with what I'm doing. So I'm taking the trauma shears and a tourniquet, and I'm pointing to my oxygen line, and I'm doing this.
Yeah. So yeah.
So they hopefully they understand what the hell I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Both Carrigan and Andrea would then have the knowledge of the plan that you have in your head of doing that.
Okay, well, we'll see if it works.
I mean, what's in survival? Like survival, to kind of like hold your breath is one thing, but I don't know if which would be to like. I'd probably kind of be like agility, mobility for.
Well,
but even at that, agility piloting, because you're attempting to use like you're attempting Iron Man here. And
well, the reason I would argue wits is because it's do I have the knowledge to get the angle right, and because I'm not trying to maneuver it per se, I'm just trying to get the momentum shift back towards that way. So I think it's more of a math and IQ question, and survival isn't just holding your breath, it's surviving in the wild and things in space. I was reading over the skill breakdown. It's any sort of like survival in an emergency situation,
right.
So that's why I would argue that from my perspective, but you're the game mother.
No, I'll go with you on that decision. So I'll give you I will say just on that, but with the fact that you're attempting to effectively Iron Man the shit out of this, I would say that there probably would be a difficulty, because again, just going on to the point of like the movement where you would have like a negative against the movement, you are still technically flowing away. So I would say that you would have a -1 to the difficulty in order to pull it off.
Okay.
But if that is what you're willing to do, then
Can I?
Yes.
What is he trying to do?
He is going to use his shears to cut his oxygen line, like his air supply to the suit, and use the propulsion from the tank to create momentum back towards the ship. Like, effectively kind of stop your movement away from the ship and pushes back towards the ship.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's a good idea, but I cannot verbally express this to Joshua. and I don't have anything to push us off of, and I assume that he. How are we all combined? Well,
Well,
You're
I
just
would have
holding on.
I would have hit Carrigan with my legs when she was coming past, and then you would have reached out and grabbed me. I'm assuming.
Yeah, at this point,
Okay.
I would say that you've all just kind of like linked together. Like, it seems plausible to stop your momentum, but
but not to get us any.
yeah, like it's a kind of hit or a miss whether it would then start your projectile back because you're moving at a certain speed of movement. It has the potential to stop you from continuing out into space, but
And if he were not then able to reattach the line or something like that, he would just like lungs collapse, etc., etc.
it would very much come down to a survival roll of whether he would be able to make the time before Tavin makes it. And you'll probably find by this point you're a few minutes into Tavin getting to the ship.
The thing is that the suit I'm wearing has an air supply of 5, which gives me plenty of time. I'm not dumping the entire tank. I'm dumping enough to shift momentum, and then I'm gonna try and reseal the line. So
right, but I'm saying if you're not successful in resealing the line.
right, well that's a problem to worry about later. I need using Carrigan's momentum and her angle. I want to get us back that way because we can't take the chance of drifting out too far because Tavin still has to fire up the ship, and the further out we get, the more exposure to debris and stuff we are, or meteorites. So it's easier to get back to the ship than have Tavin pick us up in a massive ship. It's a much harder target. So if we can get back to the ship, we then can get a hold of Tavin and be like, we're back on the ship. It's cool. I would much rather take that gamble because it's a smaller window right now than trying to land on the ship or have Tavin, because the ship is massive, right?
Yeah.
But the more we drift out, the harder it's going to be for him to locate us.
Yeah.
And the ship's going to take 10 to 15 minutes to fire up. That's a huge amount of time to drift that we could get all kind of shit go wrong. So Joshua's logic is go back to the ship or go back
also
to the
grab
hull.
the cable that's floating and pull ourselves back towards the ship without, possibly your lungs collapsing if we don't.
Right, but we would have to the if I remember right, the cable's like 10 feet or so out.
Yeah, it's
So
like 10, 15 feet.
Either way, we have to get momentum to get to something to give us anchor. So if it's getting to the line and then walking back, that's fine. I'll shift my logic that way because I didn't remember that the cable was that far.
I'm gonna be really honest with you.
No, it's fine. I knew this was a risk. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to recover us, and that's my thought process. So I'm open to modifying it based on input from you two, but that's my sort of line of logic.
Okay.
Carrigan, care to chime in?
No.
Okay.
So for me, this is happening incredibly quickly.
Yes.
There's not, if we're going to be super hyper realistic about it, there's not any communication I can give you before you decide to do this. So
that's fair. I was just trying to get your input, because I'm like that. So all right, Chris, tell me when I gotta roll.
Right. Before you roll, just want to reiterate what you're going to time in, what the potential outcome would be. It's not necessarily going to shift your momentum back towards the ship. It's effectively going to stop your momentum from leaving the ship. So momentum would still have to be created to get back onto the ship. This would be effectively just to stop you from going into space.
Look, okay, look. I'm a hero. This is what we do.
Look, it's fine. Just don't explode your lungs. Just if you have a choice, if somebody comes up,
No,
to you, like,
I'm
hey,
totally,
you don't want to explode your lungs during that.
I'm
What is
totally
going
fine with
on?
I'm totally fine with the script rewrite. That works for me. Like I totally get it, and then I'm glad Chris kind of rethought that because we didn't exactly know the setup. So
Yeah.
the way he rewrote it works even better.
No, I feel as if that's a fairer kind of thing because without being able to see what the setup is, then to me I need to afford you some liberties in that sense. So that's a kind of compromise that I'm happy with. If you guys are happy with, we'll go with that one. So it's just a case of you are still with your movement, working towards the cable and the girders. It's wits plus your mobility.
Still -1.
Yeah, it'll be -1 just with the movement.
Oh, what? Okay, are we trying to grab onto a thing now?
Yes.
Or are we...
Yes,
Okay.
you're
Yes.
trying to
What's
grab
your
onto
wits?
the cable and the or the girders, just something that is still attached to the ship.
I have better wits. I don't have any mobility, but I have better wits.
Well, it's wits plus mobility -1.
I don't have any mobility.
Okay, so it'll be your wits -1.
Okay. Actually,
Oh boy, here we go.
let's go. I panic! Yay!
I didn't succeed or fail.
I panicked. Where is my... There's stress. Yippee! Wait, why is it not going? I click you. Why you not roll? There you
There you
go. Yeah!
Okay, so Andrea, success. Joshua, your successes.
It was
You didn't panic.
yeah.
And Carrigan.
Sorry, I got distracted and did not roll. Tell me what I have to do.
Wits plus mobility -1.
So I subtract a die because I don't have any mobility. I just subtract 1.
Yo, same. That's what I had to do.
No one has any mobility.
I do.
Social mobility?
Same.
Carrigan made it, but she also panicked.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but I'm fine.
So
I've got nerves of steel.
Exactly.
You and me
Nice.
both.
So yeah, as the momentum of Carrigan kind of alters your projection slightly, this cable and parts of the ship that's kind of just been bent out with this, the three of you do begin to kind of go towards that. Andrea and Carrigan, you both are able to slam into this girder and grab on with iron-like grip, kind of stopping yourself from continuing into space. Joshua, however, you also slam into this girder, and as you try and grab on, the bounce and movement kind of just lifts you just ever so slightly out of arm's reach as you can't grab on and slip past, continuing your momentum.
Let's try and catch him.
Okay, give me I will say this is, this will kind of be a similar, I will say it'll be the same roll without the -1 because with this movement would have been slowed right down.
I panicked.
Panic. Okay. As you bounce off Joshua, Andrea puts out an arm to try and grab on, but your momentum, same again. It's within millimeters as you continue on beyond Andrea.
Oh my god, let go and go after him. Can't just let him go. I refuse.
Okay. But you are attached to the ship now, along
That's
with Carrigan.
Carrigan, are you gonna try and help grab Joshua too?
Yeah.
Okay. It's same again. It's just your wits and mobility, but no -1.
Yay! Twins!
This game really wants one of us to die out here.
Yeah. It's a similar Carrigan. You see Joshua bounce. Andrea reaches out to try and grab him. It slips by. You exert yourself to try and grab onto anything that is there, but again, just out of hand's reach as his momentum continues him on into space.
Do I have a belt or anything that I could use to? Well, no, it's space. Never mind, that won't work. I was gonna be like, oh, no, that ain't gonna work.
Go lasso? Go lasso?
Yeah, yeah, but it's not gonna work in space. All right. Shit. Well. How far out am I?
Well, at this point, you've only just broken. You're probably like in the immediate thing. You're like 2-3 feet from that initial.
Can I make another EVA roll to recover?
I will say, for one mere attempt, that with the cable in the same kind of vicinity as where this girder was, I'll give you one more wits mobility with your -1 as your momentum stymie to try and grab onto the.
Okay.
Can we try to make it easier by like holding our hands out to try and grab him or something?
Yeah, can we human chain?
Can we human chain? Human chain.
I would say with this, in the quick thinking, give me agility rolls to see if you can quickly get into a position to grab.
Can I argue for like, I don't know. So we used to be partners. We had no. I'd much rather do agility because I have 5 in both. Or if wits is better, so could we do an agility me? Just listen to this bullshit I'm gonna drop on you, and if you say no to it, that's fine. So me, agility, grab on to Andrea because we used to be partners, and be like human chain and her wits because she knows what I'm doing because we used to be partners.
Yeah.
If it's not, I understand.
I will say, with the way that it's going, the agility would be in the kind of like the speed to kind of go, this is what we're doing. So with it, I will say that I will allow that just on the basis of your aspect isn't necessarily grabbing on. It's more effectively assisted throwing of Andrea towards Joshua. And then Andrea is doing the...
I'm still holding on to her.
Yeah. Yeah, you're holding on to the girder, then you're holding on to her. You're lassoing her towards Joshua. while still
I had
holding.
no successes.
I had
I'll
3
push it.
successes though.
Yeah.
I'll push it.
And a panic.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
Okay. So I will give it where you are able to grab on to Joshua. Joshua, you do not have to Iron Man. But I will require one more roll from you, Carrigan. I'll need a strength roll in order to
Got this. I believe in
keep
you.
that core where they don't detach.
I got a success.
There you go.
Yeah!
You are able to stop their momentum, and you are now daisy chaining while holding on to one of these iron girders that's protruding from the ship. I will say, just before
Nice.
we move on, I do want to take a little quick break here, just while we're like an hour and 15 minutes in. So, and then we will pick back up as to how we then get you three out of this situation. As Tavin is currently sprinting towards Martha. So yes, everybody, we'll be back in about 10 minutes time. I just have to get the timer set up and ready to go. So yes, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Go refill your drinks and your snacks, go to the bathroom, and we shall see you shortly. Are back. Okay.
Hi, chat. Sorry you won't get to see the penis I do.
Yep. Now you get to see it. It's for our eyes only. So, yes, we come back to a lovely daisy chain of humans, currently gripped onto one of the girders. Before we find out what the Three Musketeers are going to do to get out of that particular predicament, we are going to flip over to Tavin. You have made it to the other side of this giant hole in the ship, and you have began sprinting towards the airlock to Martha. As you're going, you are kind of trying to get your bearings, trying to looking at corridors and doors to see if it's the one that you have to kind of turn up. While you're running, you do see the pulsing red light that you were first welcomed into the ship with when you opened the door. As you're getting towards it, give me an observation roll.
There's gonna be something there. God damn it.
Okay, and roll your
Oh,
panic.
no.
I believe in you. I believe in you, Tavin.
No,
I believe in you a little less.
Okay. As you are kind of sprinting with everything you've got, because you have a plan in your head and it's time sensitive. As you get to the kind of door corridor to where the airlock is, out the corner of your eye, in this red pulsing light, you sort of see, it's nothing, you don't see it enough to know that it was definitely something, but you do feel as if you see something step around one of the door frames, with not expecting that and still kind of trying to get help to your friends. It does kind of throw you off as you make a darting left into the airlock. You're able to open the door, and get into Martha, where you have to pressurize again because yes, but you are
We
able.
also had cut the ship. The station doesn't have an airlock because I cut the door off.
Yes, it's the airlock that you're currently having to pressurize right now is the airlock of Martha, because like it's that's the only door that actually still closes. So you have made it in there. You've closed the door, pressurized for a couple, like maybe 5-10 seconds to pressurize, and you are able to get into Martha and make your way to the bridge. As you get there and begin the process of starting up, it takes a few minutes to, like, as I'm guessing there isn't any way that you can kind of start up like an emergency.
No, because he has that emergency FTL jump. I feel like that would kind of
Right.
take the place of that.
Okay, no, that's fine.
And the only way he has to start the ship up quickly is just by doing it through the laptop while he's running.
Yeah.
So which he didn't have, so it's just he has to do the normal process.
Okay. No, that's fine then. You are able to begin the process and getting everything set up. How long do you think it would take you to get everything? About 10 minutes, you said?
I would say for zero gravity, because he's not dealing with launching through atmosphere or fighting against planet's gravity, it'd probably be 10 minutes is what I
Okay.
would think.
Right. I will say that you're probably with Joshua and that kind of getting into that kind of situation. I'd probably say that you're about 5 minutes to get all that. So while you are setting up, while you're starting up, I will say that you will get on your radar system that it picks up life forms outside of Martha. 3 clustered together at the front end of the space station. And they are not moving. They are just on the front of the space station.
Okay, that'll make it easier.
So while you are getting the ship set up, we will flash back to Carrigan, Andrea, and Joshua. You are currently linked by hands, kind of floating but attached to the space station.
I would like to pass Joshua to Carrigan so we could put him on the wire, and then we can both like get more secure on the wire.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's easy enough to kind of like. It's easy enough to kind of shift the weight and kind of get Joshua onto the kind of the beam as well. I'll say it's easy enough for the 3 of you to kind of get yourself into a position where you're all holding on to this steel beam and not necessarily having to grip on each other.
Dumb question. Would our magnetic boots work on here?
I would say that to an extent that they would have that effect. Again, it wouldn't hold you on for any bumps or anything like that, but it would be able to effectively attach you to the if you're standing on it.
Okay. Good to know. And I will start climbing towards the place where we got knocked out again.
Yeah, no, it's easy enough to kind of start. Not necessarily a monkey bar, but like kind of.
Sort of.
It'd probably be more something that like in Uncharted and Tomb Raider, as you kind of just start passing along this girder, because it isn't necessarily thick. It's like a steel beam for the ship, but it's rigid enough that you're able to kind of pass yourself along towards the main hull of the ship again.
Are you guys coming with me, or are you guys hanging out here?
I would definitely be going with her because I'd be like, yeah, get to
Oh,
the
yeah.
solid ground.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that it takes you a couple of minutes just trying to be safe and not go too quick where you can lose your grip or anything like that. So it'll take you a couple of minutes to kind of get the kind of 50 feet kind of towards where it's the less intact hull of the ship, and you are able to get in to the ship and onto firmer ground. I will say that the way this ship is made is the ship does have 2 levels. So would you make it to the closest floor, which is the level above where you started, or would you make it to the level that you'd started from, which was the bottom level?
The one up.
Yeah.
So just the closest one. Okay.
Yeah.
You are, it's that with it being the closest one, you are able to kind of get to that top level. You're on the side of the ship that Martha is docked. But you're just the floor above where it is.
Okay. So
don't know
now,
if you guys want to like wait for the I'm gonna keep looking.
Yeah.
Just
Because
walking off.
so like Joshua has he in his mind knows that Tavin's coming for us, but like the history that Carrigan has, like for all I know, that MFR left. Like
That's fair. I mean, 8 episodes of what's your last name? It's gonna take its toll on your trust. But no, Joshua, you see Carrigan and Andrea as you all make it to that floor. You are on kind of using your magnetic books. You are able to kind of be a wee bit more secure, and Carrigan and Andrea start making their way towards the kind of the corridor section than this big concourse area, with the massive hole.
I'm intending to look like I'm not going back towards the ship. I'm searching still.
Yeah,
we didn't find anything here, so like going in rooms.
okay,
My original plan.
So 2 questions. Do we have comms with the ship?
Um,
Because the whole communication thing too. Now I'm trying to figure out: can we actually talk to each other, and can we talk to the ship?
I mean, we were talking to each other in this station or ship or whatever it was last week.
I will.
I know.
We have like suit speakers or something for environments that have things that can create sound.
Yeah, I will say that you do not have direct communication with Martha or Tavin.
Okay.
But as you make it to where where the corridors are, it is still a door. There's still a door that kind of you would have to go through to get into the corridor section. As you get into this corridor, the atmosphere on this ship does change, and communication from your own, like as Ghost has said, that you do have a speaker system for close contact kind of communication. The difference is what in kind of the vacuum of space, there's nothing that sound can vibrate from, so it wouldn't get picked up. But the
That's fair.
atmosphere of these corridors of the ship, there's an atmosphere that is created, as much as it's still not breathable air or anything like that. There is a very noticeable atmospheric change as you cross this threshold into the kind of the more closed parts of the station.
Okay. Second question. Oh, I can't send Tavin a text message because I don't have a data pad. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna look at Andrea and Carrigan and be like, I'm going to go tell Tavin that we're back on the ship so he can like not try and do the scoop because we're back on the ship.
Oh, right. And then he might think that we flew up into space and he would leave to go find us.
No. Yeah, exactly. He's expecting us to be floating and pick us up. So I'm gonna go tell him we're good. You two, if you're gonna search, I would be on your guard because there was something moving in the walls right before the explosion happened.
Should we escort you to the ship? Would you like that?
Oh hell no! I got plenty of guns. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm telling you two that there's something in the walls that caused that explosion. I'm going to get to Tavin to tell him, hey, we're good. If you two are going to search, then once Tavin secures the ship, we can meet back up with you so we can find what the hell we're looking for on this damn station.
Okay.
I hate this place.
But it's nice.
No, it's not. It blew me out to space. It's not nice. It's mean. And there's something in the goddamn walls.
Would you like
Just
that?
telling you.
I mean, there was
You're
beer
kinda-
event.
Would you like a hug, Joshua?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Been through a traumatic experience, damn it.
Give him some pats on the back. You hear an auto injector going off.
Funny enough, when you give Joshua a hug, Andrea, you yourself feel a calmness kind of brush over you, like a somewhat kind of like just this feeling of it's going to be fine, everything will work out.
I already knew that.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
after the hug is over, I'm gonna pull my pistol and start walking towards the ship.
Okay.
Ain't nothing getting me, damn it.
Okay. Well, you kind of walk off to find the stairwell or whatever, the ladder to get down. We'll stick with Carrigan and Andrea. You begin walking along this corridor, checking every room.
Yep.
And
I will just like to throw out there that if there are any like rooms like it was last time where there was like there was like a flight suit or a jacket or some shit in that, at this point I would collect every piece of discarded clothing that I could find and I'm tying it together, and when it's long enough I'm going to tether us together just for safety.
Okay.
fair
Okay,
enough.
yeah.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
I'm good with this.
Yeah, the first few rooms that you do kind of enter into, there isn't that much in them. It's just it's like rooms with like a bed frame that's attached to that are bolted to the floor. There's you are able to find some pieces of like fabric and clothing and stuff like that. It's just there's nothing that stands out as like has like badges or names or anything like that. It's just like generic like
Nothing for why we were sent here.
well, just in the clothing
Well, yeah.
department.
Can I
We'll go
just say,
past
'cause
the clothing.
I don't think Haba remembers we did find a bunch of information last time, actually.
Did we?
And
a
the
terminal, yeah.
terminal, you found out a lot of
In
information.
the terminal, and Tavin has all that information right now on the black goo, and that the station was a midway point for the military.
Oh yes, criminal thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we had even said that that was most likely the information we were sent to find.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine.
It's been
There
2
might be
weeks.
other things.
Yeah,
we
it
don't know.
has. It has.
But yeah, as you continue to search, you don't come across much in the way of extra information that you don't already have, as characters. But there is a point when you're walking along this corridor that both of you sense something off. And I'll need both of you to give me observation rolls, please.
Can't make me. I panic. I'm good.
Okay.
Aw.
Twins! Twinsies!
I'm fine.
Okay. So as you look along this corridor, the feeling of something isn't right doesn't leave. You do not see anything though. There's nothing out the norm isn't the right phrase, because nothing's normal about this. But you don't really see anything that would cause you any concern, but there's just this overwhelming feeling of something's here that isn't right. You continue through and you do, however, find a room, and it's the only room that has a nameplate on it, and it just says system room.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
As you try to go in, the door is locked electronically. There is a pad on the side that is still lit up and running.
So would this be a contact roll?
I would say yes, Comtech.
I'll push it.
Okay.
I got 2 successes! Yay!
You have a look at this kind of lock pad, and at first you kind of have a look, and you're trying to basically hack the way in. First attempt doesn't quite do much, but then you're able to kind of find the wiring that you have been looking to kind of to get, and with a snip, the door slides open. As
I wish I knew about this when I worked with you, Carrigan. Like, we would have made so many things much more easy on cases.
This might fall under illegal search for our cases, but
Okay, but like for okay.
I
fair.
get
Never
your
mind.
I get. It's very useful here.
That would be illegal. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. You didn't do anything wrong.
Unless there's a person living in this room that we've just illegally opened their door and exposed them to atmosphere and they're going to die.
I don't feel like that's very likely.
It's like
Chris, don't put a person in there. Just don't do it.
no, I would never do that. As you walk in, there is a figure, and no. As who's going in
Instead of-
first? Who is entering the room first? Go with
I
that.
don't know. I would take point.
Okay. I would imagine that if Andrea is working on the system, you would be kind of just preparing for any eventuality. The door slides open, and as you go in, the room is filled with what looks to be server towers and terminals, systems, all still functioning. Nothing seems out of place. As you continue to look, there is some portions of these kind of mechanical instruments that show that a slight atmosphere is still being maintained on this ship. It's not a complete desolate station that you would have imagined it being with the look from the outside, but this is still very much a somewhat working ship.
Oh, Andrea, is there anything in here that you can like flag Tavin with?
Ooh, we should look for that. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, give
Let me roll for
me
that.
imagine this would probably be another comtech, just trying to see if you can work out what system you'd have to use.
Oh no, a panic. Hold on.
Ooh,
A panic.
okay.
I don't have anything for that, I don't think. I mean, I could just yell at her.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You never yelled at me.
As you are looking around, you do find it's a communication terminal that when you go onto it, it does give you the ability to be able to broadcast a kind of message within the vicinity, almost like a SOS message kind of thing, where you can kind of just send a broadcast out. As you begin that process, something catches your eye, and all functionality of you just seems to stop. Carrigan, you see Andrea go onto this terminal and begin kind of inputting stuff and all that, and then she just sort of glances to the side and freezes and just starts uncontrollably shaking, trembling, just there.
Okay. Can I follow her eye line? Can I be in a place to see what she's looking at, or
You can give me an observation roll and have a +2 with it, because if you're actively following her eye line, it's an easier roll for you.
2 successes.
Okay. As you kind of see this and you kind of step kind of up towards Andrea and kind of look to the left of this terminal, it looks to be like multiple screens, like small screens, and on one of the screens it looks like almost like a cargo bay. It's like a bigger room, and in the room it just looks like multiple cryopods just in an order, spread throughout this cryo bay or cargo bay
Okay.
in the ship.
Okay. All I can make out is that it's cryopods, right?
Yeah, it's cryopods. What I will say with 2 successes is all of the cryopods are closed.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
Do we have enough room for all of those?
Oh, probably not. Probably not. This is probably contact somebody for rescue if they're even online. They might not be online and just still be closed. Like they could be essentially coffins at this point.
Is there a way I can check that, Chris?
Having a look about, there's nothing in this room that would dictate that. You, with being on like Tavin ship and other ships that you have, usually these kind of systems are within the same room. It's usually in the cryo room or something, because it's usually maintenance or anything like that would have to be in the same room.
Can I just say that the implication of Andrea seeing a screen filled with cryopods and being terrified because she's like, fuck, Carrigan's what I gotta go bring all these people so much that she takes a stress point is so amazing. Sorry.
That's amazing. I love it.
Oh no, Carrigan's gonna refuse to leave.
Gotta find a way to engineer the ship to make it live again so we can drive it back to a safe place. I'm
Oh.
not a ship's mechanic. Oh
Ugh.
no! Okay, you hear an auto injector going off. Now I don't have any stress anymore.
Mhm.
And now I'm gonna write a message to Tavin. And I'm gonna be like, hey, at the server room. Also, there's a cryo bay and it's full.
Mhm.
Gonna go see if those are people. Goodbye.
With the sending of that message, we are going to head to Tavin. This is probably 10 minutes after the initial thing. So you have started up Martha, disconnected, and made your way to the front of the ship, where you no longer have a visual on the 3 crew members of your team. As you look at the radar, it does show that 3 blips are now within the ship, 2 of which are together, and 1 is currently not necessarily far from them on the basis of floors, but it is not next to the other 2, but the 3 blips are no longer at the front of the ship.
Tavin is going to very quietly say, God fucking damn it. He's gonna sit there for about 30 seconds. Just like looking out the window, just looking off into the distance. I could just go. God damn it. I mean, my life's just gotten worse since I fucking met these people. I There's no way I'm staying here at this exact spot, so I will go back to where... Does it look like that one dot by itself might be going to where the ship was docked?
You can pretend that it's actively making its way to that general location.
I will start making my way back to redock the ship.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy enough to do that. You start making your kind of journey back. It's not too long. It's only a couple of minutes just to kind of get turned around and stuff. Joshua, through some kind of maneuvering and stuff like that, you are able to find a ladder that takes you down to the level below. As you make it to the pulsing red light that again welcomed you all to the ship when you went through the airlock, as you get there, the door that you cut open is currently open, and the kind of security door that would then go out into space is currently locked. As you go up to it, there is no Martha currently docked to the ship.
Okay. Well, shit. Let's see.
Can you give me an observation roll?
Yeah, I'm kind of like sitting here going, "Oh my lord." Observation. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Dude. I didn't fail or success. I'm good.
Okay.
Just staring at a door like,
Yeah.
well, fuck.
You're just staring out. There's nothing. This is just one empty, lonely place.
Is there a comm unit or terminal or anything in the area where the airlock is?
There is, but the one that kind of goes into the ship is currently smashed, hence why you had to cut the door open. But the one that would effectively connect to any ship that's docked is currently there.
Okay. Do I walk back like a pissed off toddler back to Carrigan and Andrea? Or do I wait for Tavin to realize we're not in space anymore and just sit in the chair across from the airlock being like, well, you were out late, mister. I'm gonna go head back to Carrigan and Andrea and tell them that Tavin is currently docking the ship because he figured out that we are no longer in space.
Okay. Yep, you are able to.
That would be that is the bullshit I'm going to go and believe.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. You are able to start heading back, and as you kind of go back out into the corridor and you make your way to the ladder that you originally came down, you do hear something along the corridor. It's like a very light rumbling.
Well, I'm going to bring my weapon up and address the rumbling as soon as I get off the ladder.
Okay. So this is still on the first level. This isn't up. So it's
Okay.
only you've just got to the ladder to go up.
Cool. Well, then I will turn and address the noise, weapon raised.
Okay. As you look, there's nothing there. But the rumbling does seem to be getting quieter as you can imagine it's going away from you.
Is it coming from the exterior of the area, or is it internal, the rumbling?
Internal. It sounds as if it's within this corridor.
Okay. Is it? You said it's moving away, correct?
Yes, it's getting quieter as it goes.
I'm going to go investigate. I'm going to go track the rumbling because this isn't the first time we've heard shit on this station. I'm going to figure out what the fuck is in the walls.
Okay. As you take a few steps along this corridor, give me another observation.
Observation. I got them peepers peeping.
Oh, you actually
Oh,
succeeded
yeah.
this time. Well done. As you kind of get out of this pulsing light and you have your flashlight up, you do see what is making this rumbling. At the other end of this corridor, there is a small figure standing in a doorway. You can't make out any facial features or anything like that because of the distance. They're probably about 20-30 feet along this corridor. So you can only make out kind of like silhouettes and stuff like that as they're standing in this door frame. But what you can gauge by it is that this figure looks like a young girl. And as you stare at this, trying to comprehend why a young child would be on this space station, everything gets a little bit quieter. And this figure begins to take steps towards you. And
Lower the weapon to the side slightly, because I don't want to be pointing at a gun at a kid. Kind of put it at the ready position.
Yeah. As this figure gets closer to you, they begin to walk into more of your light from the flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you are able to make out facial features. You know this girl. You recognize this girl. And just as that realization hits, a hand goes onto your shoulder. As you turn, Carrigan and Andrea have made their way down on their planned journey. As you turn back,
You okay?
there's no one there.
Yeah. Whew. Hi. Hey, how you doing?
You okay?
Yeah, scared shitless by the hand on my shoulder, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just didn't hear you coming.
There's some cryopods. We're gonna try and check them out.
Okay.
Tavin left?
No, he's docking the ship. I'm assuming after he noticed we got inside, he's redocking the ship. Because what I'm assuming is he's going to try and scoop us up, but we probably put a spanner in that plan.
Yeah.
So now he's coming back to redock the ship.
Well, I thought
Be my guess.
if he picked us up, then we wouldn't be able to come back because he wouldn't want to come back. But if he has to come back for you, then he'll come back. He doesn't care about us.
He was gonna come back in general. Like Tavin's an ass. He's not a dick. Wait, strike that. He's a dick and an ass. He's not a bad guy. Well, there's nuances, Andrea. Okay, I ain't got time to explain it. Let's go find the cargo pods. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
While you're having this conversation, you do feel an almighty clunk on the ship.
Oh, Joe, he'd be back.
Just as you were guiding back into dock, you do receive a transmission that they have made it back onto the ship and that they are currently going to investigate and explore as you redock.
I sent him the exact text of the message.
Yeah, okay. Well, the exact text that you have received is the exact message you have been handed, and it comes through just as you're about to dock.
Safe on station, found Cryo Bay, going to check it out. This is what I said.
Tavin is just gonna let out a really long sigh, dock the ship, and not leave. He's not getting back on that station.
Okay. Fair enough.
But he will wait in the ship.
Okay. Yeah, with that clunk, the three of you can only imagine that is Tavin redocking.
Don't like it when you say it like that. He makes it feel like it's not that.
Would you like to investigate that?
No.
Yeah, I would. I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll
And
say the entire time Tavin is debating, just like constantly. I mean, I could just leave, but then I wouldn't get paid, and Doc would die. But then I wouldn't have to deal with this.
Also a valid point.
Andrea.
He is gonna sit there.
Okay. Andrea, you are able to walk back to the docking area. And as you enter in, you do see on the kind of screen to the outside that it does appear that a ship has docked to the ship.
Okay. Does it look like the Marthanóir?
You can't necessarily tell, but you...
One success. Does it look like the Marthanóir?
As you look through the little porthole of this docking room, you see what looks to be a metal door on the other side that looks like metal. I will say, with your observation, you do see that there is a communication block or screen next to the door that you can use to communicate with whatever is docked.
Okay. I will send Tavin ?
Well, it's just a vocal one. So
Oh, okay. Hello?
this strange voice comes back as a pissed off Tavin replies.
Glad y'all got back in.
Would you feel happier if we sent Joshua back inside the ship to be safe with you?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Stay safe.
What's this about
Look at Andrea.
cryopods?
Well, yeah, we saw a sorry, go ahead.
Just gonna side eye the shit out of Andrea for that comment.
What do you
So if Carrigan could hear that, she would immediately be like, "Don't tell him that, because then he'll just take him and leave. He does not like us."
I mean,
We're
I guess
your
it just means
friends.
if you guys followed Andrea back to the airlock, or you were just waiting where you'd left, and Andrea's just
Probably.
wandered off.
No, we're tethered.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, you
Well,
got
you
time to
hear
go chill with her.
I
everything.
got a toddler leash.
You hear everything.
Carrigan, I just
Could I hear Carrigan say that?
I would think it would be pushed to
Yelling.
Yeah,
talk.
it would be pushed
Yeah.
to talk, so it would
It'll push to
depend
talk.
if Andrea had the button pushed.
no. She would-
Okay, so
Okay. What was it about cryopods?
Oh yeah. So we saw a video feed into what looked to be a cryo bay, and they're full of pods, and the pods are all closed. And I'm not sure whether that means that they're full. So we're just gonna go check.
Chris, would the scanners, because I have the ability to scan for life forms, and this is a salvaging ship, so scanners are probably a little bit stronger than normal ships. Would I be able to scan to see if I could detect any other life forms on the ship?
I would say with a Comtech roll, you would be able to make a bit more of a
Targeted.
yeah, like
scan.
a targeted scan to a certain part of the ship.
Okay. Let me try and do that. That's 2 successes and a panic.
Okay, roll your panic.
Keeping it together.
Okay.
How do you panic when you're in your own ship?
Still, you rolled
It's
a
been
6.
a stressful day.
It's been a stressful day.
It has been a
Again,
stressful day.
he heard cryopod and he was like, "God damn it. Carrigan's going to try and fill the ship with a bunch of people. We don't have the infrastructure for this."
Well, actually, we might be able to put him in the cargo bay, but that's beside the
Maybe.
point.
Would be space.
It's a big cargo bay.
Depends.
Tavin,
Yes.
as you do a more focused, targeted kind of sweep of life forms, it takes a couple of kind of seconds, and then you get 3 blips in the airlock bay. Then you get 1 in the cargo area of the ship. Then another
Of
of
my ship?
No, the space, the
Okay.
station. Then you get
Okay.
another, then a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, up until you now have 10 blips on your radar of life forms currently on the ship.
Do they look like they are lined up like you would see in a cryopods?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna think about it. I have a cargo bay. I have a level 5 or level 4 cargo bay, which can hold 5,000 tons worth of objects.
So above table, would that be able to
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, would that be able to
carrying
hold 10 cryopods because I don't have the food for 10 extra people
Yeah.
or the air scrubbers for it.
It's one of those ones. I would say on this, it would be, could it hold that? Yes. Could
Would they be
you
powered?
get that all to your ship? That would be the question, is would you be able to move
Well,
Think
the
about that.
pods?
salvage ship though. Well, but then you're disrupting power and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you get the ship to blow up.
Yeah.
But you would definitely be able to hod them all. But
Yeah.
that's where your mind would go, and that you've worked salvage ships, you've done this for a while. You would understand that normally, like the likes of, you have a crane, it's usually for bringing in debris and stuff from ships that are destroyed.
Based off of the scan, can I tell where the cryo bay is on the ship? Is it on the edge of the ship? Is it in the center of the ship?
It is at the back of the ship, but not directly at the back. There's a
So
bit
it's
of a
bit ways
distance
into
yeah.
it. Oh, damn it. Okay. I will say through the comms, because it's faster than walking all the way to the airlock. There's at least 10 people there who are alive in the cryo pods. I can hold them, but I don't know if we can get them to the ship. I don't have the equipment to cut through the ship to get to them.
we definitely don't have enough.
And if they've been sitting in cryo for a long time, I wouldn't even want to bring them out. We don't have the suits for them. There's not enough
Right.
atmosphere. Our best bet would be to call someone else who has the equipment to cut through the ship or enough suits that they could actually safely bring them out. There's nothing I can do to get them out.
That's
That's fair.
fair, really fair.
Yeah, we could just notify local settlement.
Do I know how long ago the rumors of something going wrong on this ship or the station and it being abandoned happened? Like, just roughly, like, was it like a few months ago? Was it a few years ago?
It was a few months, probably a few months before you set off in this whole
Okay, so less than a
adventure.
year.
Yeah.
I'll go into the communication again. When y'all were in that system room, you sent a message to me. Did any of you happen to check how much power the station actually had and possibly how much it had left?
No. I didn't.
Well,
Carrigan, did
depending
you?
on the reactor, they might last
No.
another few years or another few days.
No, we're not gonna keep them out here for years. Fuck
No,
days.
I'm just saying if
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
enough time for other people to come out here.
It's the magic fucking words there, Tavin.
God damn it. That was through the microphone, that god damn it. I will be there in just a minute. I will get up and I will start making my way towards the airlock.
I mean,
what's the nearest settlement that we could like?
yeah, that's a.
contact?
So there's that, because we can't take them out of the cryopods.
No.
Can't really viably move the cryopods.
No.
Either of those things would be almost certain death.
I mean, Planet Alba isn't too far.
I mean, we
But
can't really go back to Planet
we can't go
Alpha.
back there. Anything we send there could be intercepted, and
Yeah.
anything closer. Should
Have to
fucking
check.
terminal.
Yep.
Once I get to the airlock, I'll cycle it so that I don't depressurize my whole ship and come
You don't
out.
want to become 3D printed biomass?
Nope.
Yeah.
And I will, well, let's go to the system room so we can check how much power they got.
Okay. I mean, we could still contact what did he call himself? King of the world? That's not it.
Mac.
Air?
Yeah.
King of the world?
Bear. Or was it King of the Planet? President of the planet? I don't remember.
It was
Um,
General of the
Gen-
Royal Marines Corps,
Gen-
or the Marines,
Okay.
Yeah.
but he did
But-
also refer to himself as King of the Planet,
King
your
of the
Lord
planet,
and
yeah.
Savior.
But he's not a
I
close
mean,
grenade. What the fuck?
I mean, we could contact him and be like, we found a bunch of dudes in kilts on a broken down ship.
Let's go.
You would
Let's go
lie to
figure out
Mac?
how much power the ship has left, because that also gives us a time frame
Oh,
to tell him.
this is walk and
True.
talk.
Yeah.
This is walk and talk. Walk and talk.
This will
What'd you say,
determine whether
Chris?
I tell him he needs to be here within a week or if he needs to be here within a month.
Okay.
You know.
Well, wait,
What?
there's faster than light. Of course it could be here.
Yeah, yeah.
What am I even thinking?
Yeah. What did you say, Chris? Don't know now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Oh no, I asked, were you actually going to lie to Mac? Like, by saying that they're all in
100%.
fucking cults and that? Right.
They've
shady
got
shit.
placards on their things. It's all like they're all McTavish. It's so weird.
I'm gonna let them lead me to the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Yep. All four of you make it to the ladder that takes you up to the
Can
floor?
I say I want to bring my laptop this time?
Okay. And
That's
I'd
fine.
imagine that you wouldn't let it out your sight again after what just happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll definitely have that. Right. So who's going up to the server room, and who is
go.
not?
I think we're all going.
Yeah,
to
Is
the
Yeah.
everybody going up?
Andrea
by the
and
way-
Carrigan are tethered.
Joshua would say if we check the crowd pods, that'll give us more information on their longevity, because crowd pods have their own power states as well.
Hey,
Oh.
Tavin.
Yeah.
Hey, Tavin. Thank you for going to save us and then coming back when you realized that we were saved. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Andrea.
I have not tried to remove the tether, by the way. We're still tethered.
So, plan of action up to server room.
Hey, real quick, because I just thought about something. Why are we going back to the server room? We're trying to figure out the power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
We're
long they
checking on
have?
the power levels of the ship, because if they're gonna go out in a week, we need to tell that to Bear. Whereas if they're gonna go out in a month,
Okay.
that gives them more time to prepare.
Quick
So
question:
on and
Would
so
it
forth.
would it not be better to go back to the cryopod bay, because Chris specifically, I feel like, told us that we could not get the information for the cryopods in the systems room?
No, well,
Oh,
the
did you?
information that Tavin's looking for, you would get in the server,
Okay.
but it was more
Yeah,
just.
Tavin's looking for the overall ship power,
Yeah.
not the
Okay.
individual cryopods.
I'm just
Fair
thinking
enough.
that there's two different things that were going on, and I didn't want to be
That's fair.
forcing everybody into one if others were wanting
That-
to do something else.
Is fair. It popped into my brain. I was like, wait, didn't we try that? But okay.
It was more as a kind of reminder of the situation that Joshua had currently just found himself in, and
Yeah.
I just didn't want to slip past that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So we'll hit the systems room, and then we'll go hit the cryopods.
Okay. You are able.
Not with the hammer. I take it back.
You are able to kind of get up to the server room. Tavin, give me a comtech to find the system that you need and search.
Connect again.
You are such a
You're so
panicky boy.
scared.
We all
got
have
3
panics
stress.
today, okay?
I had the stress to
So
land the ship.
scared.
I had the stress to save y'all, try and save y'all's asses.
Yeah.
Drop item.
Oh
Tavin.
no.
I've got 3 items on me. I've got my laptop, I've got my gun, and I've got a flashlight.
Oh
Okay.
no.
We'll do it. Laptop,
Roll a D3.
gun, flashlight. 1, 2, 3. Roll your.
All right.
1D3, baby.
It's r/1d3.
I think
Yeah.
so. Or maybe it's a space between the slash and the.
Yes.
No, it's slash
R.
roll.
Slash
Slash
R.
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 Oh, slash R.
Space
Well,
1d3.
D3.
Like that.
So
That was a laptop. That was a
Yep.
laptop.
Yep.
I will say, the laptop, I want to read the description. A military grade armored and water resistant laptop.
So it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
And
It's
we're not
fine.
running. We're just sitting here, which
Yeah.
means I just drop it and freak out for a bit.
Yeah.
And then, you know.
Yeah?
Until
Or
it.
it falls through a hole.
Yeah, I
and
was going to say
disappears.
it falls through one of the grates in the floor and goes to the level below. Tavin.
Yes.
You search around and you find the terminal that you need. You figure out how to kind of get into what it is and that kind of stuff, and you do find out that this ship has a lot more power than you would have expected it to. The ship would have up to a year worth of reactor, like without maintenance and all that kind of stuff, the fuel and all that kind of stuff that's in the ship and the reactor. It has about a year worth before it would have to be refilled, changed, any of that kind of stuff. But it's while you are doing this, something you see forces you to just recoil, freeze. All of you do see Tavin at this terminal immediately just step back in like a deer in the headlights. You see the laptop fall to the ground as he just stares at this terminal. Not
What did I
moving.
see?
Lucy? Go look.
Tavin, the thing that you saw was that this terminal has a log system, and this specific terminal was used earlier this day.
Well,
This is a different terminal than what Andrea
Okay.
used.
It was in hours ago, not a few minutes ago.
As in hours ago. Probably, if you were to kind of recount it, probably an hour before you arrived.
Okay. Well, I just dropped something, so I'm gonna pick up my laptop and I'm gonna open it and check if it's broken somehow.
Nah, it's fine. It didn't drop that far.
Okay. Okay. That thing's very expensive. And I will call everyone over and point out the fact that someone was on this terminal about an hour before we got here.
Huh.
Interesting. Is there shit? I'm not Joshua's not a computer nerd.
Do we
Carrigan
have...
either. No ideas.
All it would say is that someone got on
Someone
it. It doesn't
accessed it,
have
yeah.
like a login because
Yeah.
Tavin didn't log into it or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In your scan of the ship, it just showed us 3 and the 10 people in cryo. Was there anything else?
No, there
It
was nothing
was
else.
a very tight beam. I just went for where the cryo bay would have
Fair.
been. I can't
Yeah.
scan. Well, I can scan the whole ship, but it's gonna take multiple scans and
Yeah.
a while.
I assume there were no other ships we saw in the vicinity.
No.
That's
I think
concerning.
we should go check the cryopods and then leave.
Yep. Agreed.
Fair. Wait, did we find any information here?
Yeah, last week
Yes.
or
Andrea doesn't
Before.
know.
Yeah,
Nobody told her.
Andrea doesn't actually know that. Yeah, we got
okay.
a bunch of information on the military and the black goo, and we can look at it when we get back on the ship.
Sounds great. So yeah, let's go.
Okay. So you are going to be heading to the ship
Cryo.
cryo.
To the cryo bay.
Okay. Joshua, while
Oh no.
Tavin is in this current state of just stillness, laptop is dropped, and Carrigan and Andrea has kind of stepped towards. You hear that rumble again. And as you turn to look at the door where the rumble is coming from, you see that same small figure walk away from the door down the corridor.
Okay. I'm gonna get everybody's attention and be like, has anybody had any visual or auditory hallucinations since we got on board?
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay. So it's not just me.
Got looked at like I was crazy.
When was
Um,
Oh yeah, the thing at the beginning. Yeah,
It was paper.
Okay.
it was paper. I got it.
Why are
There's a
you
receipt.
asking, Joshua?
Because I just saw a kid walk down the hall.
I'm gonna go
And that's
check.
the second time I've seen the kid. So I think we need to get to the cryopods and get the hell out of here.
Fair.
Okay. You all start making your way back to the ladder, down the stairs, and as you make it to the back of the ship, as the corridor kind of begins to loop around to the other side, you do come across these kind of bigger double doors that enter into the cryo bay. As you approach them, they are slightly opened, probably about half a foot. Just a nice little gap.
Head on in, or
Let's
like
go.
push them open.
Okay. You push them open. They're a little bit heavy, but you are able to kind of, you feel as if you're pushing them open against working mechanical gears.
Mm-hmm.
As you step in, who's stepping in? What's the order?
I'll go first because I'm brave.
I'd be
Go.
second at least, which makes Andrea automatically third.
Yep. Guess I'm last.
Tavin, would you like to tether with Carrigan instead so that You
No, I would
know?
not.
Oh,
No, I would not.
Um,
okay.
I won't take offense to that.
I just want them to feel comfortable, you know?
Yeah,
hmm.
I think probably being tethered to me is the farthest thing in the world that would make Tavin comfortable.
Okay, but okay.
As you all begin to slip through these doors, Tavin, give me an observation roll, please.
Wanna.
Go Tavin!
God damn it!
Let's go Tavin! Hey, do you want some Nephilim?
Dropped another item.
Jesus Christ, Tavin!
Okay.
Re-roll. I dropped my laptop again.
Okay. As the other three slip through this door, you to the side, the right, sense something, and immediately, once again, drop your laptop, and it gives this thud on metal as you slowly begin to turn to where you sensed this, whatever it was, just along the corridor is nothing. There's nothing there but just this presence of darkness. Like something's wrong, something's out of place. You shouldn't be here. None of you should be here. Why did you even come here? And then your control starts to come back to your body as you're able to pick your laptop back up again.
Shit, my stress level should be too higher because my stress level goes up when I drop an item.
Tavin, would you like a nap relief? It'll make all your stress go away.
I'm gonna pick up the laptop and do I know what a nap relief is?
I would you have ever have like? I mean, I'd imagine that you would have heard of it, just because I imagine in your line of work being kind of
He's
like
probably
along
used them
with,
at some point.
yeah, like
He's
being
probably
within
used them
that
at some
kind
point.
of, like, it's not all legal stuff that you've worked along, so you'd have came across like other people
This
that,
is legal.
yeah, no, but like
It's like
on that
getting
kind,
like a something from the gas station, like a bottle of
Yeah.
Tylenol or
but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, in the kind of scenarios that
Sort
you
of.
would have been in,
okay.
like, there would have been kind of like people that just used it, like, not necessarily for its intended purposes, like its legal highs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you
I
definitely would
will
have came across
turn
it.
to Andrea and say, I would fucking love one. You're muted. You're
Kelsey, you're muted on Discord.
Why did it mute? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm here. Hello.
Yes.
I would fucking love one.
She says, okay. It's the last one that I have with me, so and then she opens her auto injector thing and pulls out a syringe and hands it to you.
I don't have any way to actually take this.
I was just thinking that, but I didn't want to be teacher you forgot to assign us homework. So I stopped.
But you now have a nap relief.
I have no way to take this, so I just have one.
Yep, you just have one now. Just
Yeah.
I will reach into my medical bag and grab out one of the syringes of nap relief that I carry and be like, "Here, Tavin, take this."
Well,
you can't take
yeah,
it's
you
the
I'm
same
wearing a
thing.
compression suit.
yeah.
There's no way for me to.
Yeah.
I'm wearing an
I realized that way
a
too
suit
late.
meant for 0
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Oh, that's right. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting you have a hard suit on.
Yeah.
Yeah, my suit's like harder than y'all too.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Fucking
So,
pressure in space, man. It's
This
fucks up
episode
all
has
the
just
drug
been.
plans.
Alright, so I just got a nap relief and that's it.
Yeah. Like you don't get the
I'm just
effects
putting
of it,
my-
but you have one.
Yeah, I have one.
He's got one that's super like, I'm a little more calm now.
But
I know that later all my stress will go away.
as you
Yeah.
all make your way into this room, Joshua, you're the first to notice all these cryopods are lined up in like kind of like a professional manner. Like they're all lined up in rows, and each one of them has its own individual spotlight shining down on top of them. So in this full cargo bay, the only things illuminated are these cryopods. And
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
as you all then follow in, you all see the exact same sight as you walk into this cargo bay.
All right. Check out some cryopods.
Yeah, I'll start going down the line and see what's what.
I
Going
am
wherever
not gonna help
Carrigan
them.
takes me.
Okay.
I am going. Is there any chairs?
I would say that there's
You know what, screw
probably
it.
something you
I'm
could
just gonna
sit
sit
up on.
against the wall.
Yeah, there's
I'm
definitely
just gonna
somewhere you
sit
could
against
sit.
the wall,
Like,
and
All
I'm
right.
gonna spend the time doing where I don't. I would still probably wear my flight jacket over my spacesuit because I've worn it over my spacesuit this entire time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the thing where I stick my thumb in the loop and just sit there and try and calm down for a bit.
yeah. That's
I'm gonna check out some cryopods. Can I see peoples in them?
as the three of you kind of start going kind of along the rows and stuff like that, you do look in and you do see that each of these pods are
It's
filled.
a man in a kilt.
No
Sorry.
man in a kilt, unfortunately. That would be cool. But
Like
These-
you're
I
the gamer that
apologize.
you could change it so it is a man in a guild.
no, because this is cooler. This is better. Each is currently in use.
Okay.
As you look into them, there are some men, some women. They look just like your average folk that you would have passed by in Novgorod, just in the market. They just look like typical people. You go through, and each of the pods have like almost like a rundown screen.
Like
They have a
next to them.
chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it has like their heart rates and all that kind of stuff, like their general health kind of things, and then it has like their names and occupations and stuff like that. So Carrigan, you have seen this before. This is effectively in cryobay cargo transport. This is like everybody's named, everybody's documented.
Okay.
Everything is this isn't typical of somewhere that you would imagine would be criminal.
Okay.
Like, this is what legally is supposed to be done through transport.
So, like, of people in cryosleep, does it like say where they were coming from, where they were going? Type of manifest situation?
Not on these screens,
Okay.
but from your experience, somewhere in a terminal somewhere, it should have all of this if it is done the correct
Correctly.
way. But at this
And I mean,
point,
why-
nobody knows if within me. But as you are kind of going through them, and you're seeing that these people were teachers, chefs, dock workers, ship maintenance hands. Like, it's just
random people.
Yeah, it's just random people. Give me, Andrea, all three of you, give me observations. Okay. As you're kind of going about, kind of getting the information, Joshua, what you notice is these cryopods, the information that you're getting, like through like the health and the rates and that kind of stuff, these are artificial life form generated. Each one of these pods show no heart rate, no anything. Each one of these, even though still running, still appearing to be working, each one that you're looking at, there's no telltale signs of life. Even to the point that the actual cryopods themselves, the fact that this is where it dawns on you that these cryopods, if working, you wouldn't be able to see inside them because they'd be frosted up. It's a cryopod. But these you can actively see inside and see the people. These cryopods have not been running, even though they are running. Carrigan.
So wait, their life signs are ghosted, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Ghost representation achieved.
That's interesting. So the people inside, and I'll let you get to Carrigan in a second. I'm just trying to process. So the people inside have no visible signs of life, but the monitoring of the pod says they have life signs.
Them themselves, that, but each, see, when you're looking at like the heart rate monitor, it's all no signal. It's just line bleep. There's no heart rate. There's no nothing. But you can only surmise the fact that Tavin stated that he was getting life form signals from each of these pods, but the pods themselves are saying that there is no, like, the people in these pods are not showing any signs of life.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want a clarification. So the life signs were ghosted on to the sensors, essentially. Or at least that's what it would seem.
So which one's wrong, the pods or Tavin's?
I'm gonna look at Carrigan and go, I don't know how they could show up as alive, but yet we look at them and they're dead. Like that's Like they spoofed vitals in a cargo bay, or like I don't
Assuming you've given
understand.
me all the information.
Yeah.
I'll yell over to Tavin and I'll bring Andrea in and be like, which one is Tavin's ship wrong or is Tavin's ship right?
I mean,
How long would I be done at this point? If they're doing all this, would I be done with my whole calming down session?
You'd probably have about 5 minutes left, because this is probably about 10 minutes of them wandering through. I think it's 15 minutes is your round.
We'll sigh and stand up. Stress will not go down.
Sorry.
And
Mayhap, but personally is sorry.
yeah. Looking at the systems and having, worked with cryopods just like this, would I know of any reason why cryopods might give off life symbols if the person inside isn't alive?
No, it's nothing you've came across before. Like, and with your typical routine maintenance of Martha, you can't imagine that your system's wrong. Your system specifically said that there was life forms here.
I'm gonna throw a wild thing out here, and I'm sure Carrigan's gonna look at me like I'm crazy. What if they got something inside them?
that was what I was going to suggest as well.
Some type of parasitic thing? Maybe if it's big enough, or if there's enough of them in there, it
I
could
know.
possibly throw off life signs on a scanner.
Like if the people are dead, but then
Something's living inside of them. Like a tapeworm, but significantly bigger, or a lot of them.
That's some horror movie shit right there, Tavin.
But
Dude,
I'm
we're on
gonna
a
go-
derelict ship. Me and you have seen hallucinations. We've seen people act like monsters on a ship. We're getting chased by the military. If anyone's living in a horror movie, it's us, dude.
Question.
They're dead. I think we should leave.
Well, hold on. Are the okay. This is what I don't understand. Are the cryopods working? No. Or they are. Or we don't know.
The cryopods are like switched on, they're lit up, they're showing the monitor.
They're working.
They're monitoring, but they're not actively freezing.
Yeah.
Which is a thing you can do.
And the people we're seeing, we can see the people, or that's...
Yep.
We can see the people.
You can see the people through the
normally you
glass.
can't because it's frosted. But we can, which means that they're not currently being frozen.
Yeah, I think we need to call, like, a marshal team and, like, scientific containment. It's definitely not a good idea to open them, because either we're going to kill a person because the stuff is fucked up. Like there's just too many variables here that we are, the four of us are not equipped to deal with. This requires a bigger team.
Would it be good to turn them on?
Well,
so I'm gonna start freezing before we leave.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I want to make my way back to the cryopod, and I want to access the. This is a cryopod or a cryo med pod, Chris?
It's a cryopod.
Okay, so a cryopod should have a bioscanner on it, a rudimentary one, because the pod will run a scan to see if there's anything foreign or dangerous before freezing a body. So I want to make my way over to a cryopod and activate the bioscanner to see if what Tavin had suggested is even possible.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk up to one of them at random.
Okay. You go up and you are able to trigger a bioscan. It's going to take a couple of minutes to do its thing. While you're waiting, Carrigan, you rolled earlier,
Yeah.
so we'll just put it in here. You
Say that again.
like I'm just going to put the observation roll here because other things happened from
Okay.
that point to now. As you're like kind of waiting for Joshua to do this scan and that kind of stuff, get answers, you're kind of looking at the rest of the pods and you're kind of from your position as a marshal, seeing this kind of thing and the information that you're told, it's almost like a duty to you. Names and occupations.
Yeah.
Correct authorities are notified. Correct people are notified of what's went on.
Yes.
Families can be told. Stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
As you and Andrea, still tethered, are going through this and you're taking down the names, you notice one that
Okay.
takes you a little by surprise because it's an unusual name. It's a name that you haven't heard up until recently. And when you look back to Joshua, you make the connection as in one of the pods is a woman, and the name is Dutton Rebecca Sweet.
Are there any other ones with Sweet?
No.
I'm gonna pull Andrea up and be like, "Hey, we gotta go have a little talk. Follow me over to
Okay.
Josh. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Put my hand on his shoulder and be like, hey, I gotta talk to you for a second.
Okay, the scan should be done in a minute.
Okay. You said you were married?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna ask you a question. Don't just yell "fuck you" at me. What was your wife's name?
Would be well, I called her Bex, but her legal name was Dutton Rebecca Sweet.
Did you guys get divorced, or were you a widower?
No, we're still married, just not together.
Hey, okay. Josh, you might want to sit down.
All right. Carrigan, this vagary is not helping.
One of the cryopods is registered with the name Dutton Rebecca Sweet.
No. Mm,
I don't
No,
know.
that-
Last time that you talked to her, I don't know. I mean, it's shifty at best. Like, we don't know what's up with these. Maybe it's falsified. I don't know. But I gotta let you know, man, because it is what it says. When's the
Which-
last time you spoke to her?
Carrigan, which pod?
They'll take him over to the pod.
I'm gonna look in.
Yeah, as Carrigan leads you to the pod, you look in and you do in fact recognize the body that's in the cryopod.
Yeah. That's
I'm gonna throw something at you.
uh-huh.
We don't know what's up with these pods. I don't think it's a good idea to open them. What do you want to do? Do you want to leave her here? Do you want to try and move her? What do you want to do? I will do
I'm
my
gonna
best.
run a bioscan and see if there's anything inside of her. And if there is, we need to secure the pod and figure out why she was here.
Okay. It's fair.
If there's nothing there, just we'll take the data and we'll figure out something from here.
Okay.
And you're close enough, you'll hear Joshua under his breath go, Why do you gotta be so fucking stubborn all the time? I told you we'd figure it out. And then he's just gonna kind of rub his face and take a walk.
Okay. I'm gonna walk over to Tavin.
Okay.
And if he's sitting down, I'm gonna like kneel, not kneel,
He's
crouch.
standing. He was standing up at this point,
Yeah.
and it was like near y'all when y'all were talking about that.
Oh, okay. You were near us. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If then, I'd be like, might be his wife. Maybe you want to console your friend.
I will walk or follow Joshua.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to see or Joshua, where have you remained in the cargo bay, or have you left through the
Yeah,
door?
he would have just walked to
The other
to
side.
the one that had that. He would have walked back to the other one because the scan on that one should be done.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like work mode takeover.
Yeah. Yeah, Tavin, you're able to follow Joshua back over to the
Tavin.
first.
Being the antisocial guy that he is,
No.
and not knowing how to console people, is just kind of gonna do that guy thing where he puts his hand on his shoulder and just kind of stands there awkwardly. Like trying to be like, I'm here for you, but I also don't know what the fuck to say to you.
Josh is just staring at a screen right now. Chris, we're at 3:15.
Yep.
And runtime.
Yeah. As Tavin has his hand on your shoulder and you have this presence of someone's there, the screen does flash up that it's completed the scan, and it does issue a response that there is a mass within.
Look over at Tavin and be like, "You're right. There's something inside some of these."
So they are coffins.
We're gonna have friends soon. That was out of character, I should say.
I know.
We know.
Tavin will just kind of rub his shoulder and be like, "I'm sorry, man."
We got work to do, Tavin.
All right. Do you think we should turn them on so that whatever's inside can't, move?
Let's scan the cryotubes and see which ones are incubators, for lack of a better term. Would be my guess. And once we know what's what, we'll see what we need to do from there.
As you, sorry, Tavin. On you go.
Tavin's just gonna go to another one and start doing that process of starting the scans on like all of them and checking them.
No problem. Yeah, both of you begin to kind of just initiate the bioscans. Andrea and Carrigan, you are by the sweet pod when the bioscan finishes, and it also does state that there is biomass within.
And that's what we'll call it.
Not quite yet.
Ah!
Tavin,
Okay.
give me one more observation roll,
No.
please.
Yeah, do it.
Stop it! Why
I
is it
believe
always
in you.
me? I have 5 stress.
It's fun.
I gave you my effort.
It's a good success.
I
though.
still panic. 3 successes, but 1 panic. All right, let me
You
roll.
roll a 1.
Cover. Wait, that's above
That
a
was
certain
like-
number, which means I might have permanent trauma at this point.
Yep.
Actually,
Sorry, I can
Yep.
look it up.
I think it's
You
anything
gotta-
above. I think it's 11 or above that you have permanent trauma.
So we all increase the stress level because he's freaking the fuck out.
Wait, let me see. If you have an enemy at engaged range, I had to make a retreat roll, but we don't have any enemies.
No.
Stress level is decreased by 1, but the stress level of all friendly NPCs in short range increases by 1 after a round. You can act.
Oh, if
immediately.
that's only if we're engaged, or is that?
Yeah, that's combat
No.
related. No?
No.
Just in range.
Yeah, it's just a range.
Yeah.
It's just if we're in combat, then you get a special thing you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
But yeah, so everyone's stress goes up by 1, mine goes down by 1, and at the end of this game, I have to roll for permanent trauma.
so Tavin, as you are switching on these scans for the bio kind of scan, you notice something in one of the pods, and you look, and suddenly this fear engulfs you as you immediately go into this flight mode. You recoil and almost
For 13 or higher, so never mind.
almost fall to the ground as you kind of scarp her back. You'd probably move a good 20 feet until you're stopped by a wall. Carrigan, Andrea, Joshua, you all see this as Tavin just loses it. It's just this. The sounds that are emitted from Tavin in this just horror and terror as he just scrambles away, making it right across almost the entire room until he gets to a wall. Tavin, as you are up against this wall, seated, almost still trying to go backwards, with your feet and your hands just sliding on this floor as you're trying to still recoil. The only image that is in your mind is in the cryopod next to the head of this person was this small yellow creature just lying there, not moving. And that's where we'll end today's episode. So thank you everybody for stopping by and coming through this wonderful kind of a shit show. I feel like some of it was
fun.
crazy and wild. But yes, thank you for coming by. We will be back next week to find out what happens next. I promise I might take it easier on Tavin. I don't know. We'll decide. So thank you everybody for coming by. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we shall see you next week for Alien Entrapment. Goodbye.
Bye.